Hi, welcome. I'm Tara Davis with the Relationship Playbook for Marriage. Today, we're talking about sex. We're going to talk about sex, having really good sex. That's tomorrow's topic on my free webinar. And so I wanted to get on here today and talk to you about, yeah, free sex. It's almost or free sex. Not free sex. We're talking about good sex, better sex, right? Like we have all of these. I'm still kind of chuckling about free sex. Anyway, let's get past that. So we have all these images around us about what really good sex looks like, right? We can see it on TV, on YouTube, on wherever. We can read about it. Then we concoct this image in our mind with our partner that we think that really good sex needs to look like. And so once we have that image in our mind of what that really good sex looks like, then we try to emulate it. And by and large, 99% of the time we're let down because we're not having that sex that we think we're supposed to be having. Let's talk about what that looks like and why we're not getting really good sex. And by putting yourself first, how you can have the sex that looks like what you want it to look like. So here's an insight. Here's what usually goes on in the mind of a woman. And I wrote some of this stuff down from my previous thoughts. I've had a couple of people give me their input as well. So as a woman, here's what goes through our mind is, what? You want to have sex? Like I have been working all day. I'm exhausted. I've been taking care of the kids, the house, my job. Sex is like the last thing on my mind. And by the way, you still haven't apologized for that last argument and said you're sorry. So that is what's going on in the mind of the feminine. Here's what's going on. And again, I got this input from a couple of males. So here's what's most likely going on in the male mind. Are we going to have sex? Like, when are we going to have sex? So what can I do to get you in the mood so that we can have sex? Can I help you with the kids so that we can have sex? Can I help you with the dishes so that then we free up some time so that then we can have sex? Oh, good. The kids are in bed. So can we have sex now? So not tonight because you're tired. So in the morning, can we have sex? We've just had an argument. So what can I say to make up so that we can have make-up sex? So the guys that I talk to say, sex is on my mind all the time. The women that I talk to say, yeah, it's on my mind, but it's not the first and foremost on my mind. And so then we have all of these competing interests coming in. Some of us want to have sex all the time. Some of us want to have sex sometimes. Some of us don't even want to have sex. And so when we don't come from a place of vulnerability, and what I mean from vulnerability is open communication. When we're coming from a place where all this stuff is going on in our mind and we're not expressing it to our partner, because maybe we haven't learned how to really effectively communicate. All we know maybe is how to be angry with our partner. Or maybe all we know is how to make sure our partner knows how wrong they are, or to point the finger at our partner, or to make sure that our partner knows they're wrong and that we're right. So maybe that is our experience in communication. And so when it comes to sex, we have no clue on how to talk about having great sex. And to have great sex, we need this intimacy. Intimacy means I know you, and I see you, and I hear you, and I don't judge you. And I know that you hear me, and that you see me, and that you're not judging what comes out of my mouth. That's when the really good sex happens. You know, when you have that argument, and you've been arguing for days, and finally you come to a point that you've both just gotten to this, almost to the bottom of the argument, And it's cathartic, it's orgasmic, and you're like, oh, there it is on this argument piece. You haven't made each other right or wrong at this very end piece. You've just gotten to the bottom of it. Then you have really great makeup sex. It's because you've both been heard and you've both been seen and you've allowed yourselves, by whatever means it took you to get there, to get to that place of vulnerability. Then you get to have really great sex. So what we're going to talk about tomorrow in the webinar, and I'm going to post the link in this right after we're done talking. So to get to that place is what I'm going to teach you tomorrow, so that we don't have to have really great makeup sex, so that we can have really great sex whenever we want to, by putting ourselves first. And putting ourselves first means knowing how to speak up with compassion, with empathy, knowing how to speak up for ourselves before we get to this place of, and I don't want to have sex, but I want to have sex. So getting to that place of open communication where the great sex can really happen. So I would love to have you on the webinar with me tomorrow. You can sign up on the link that I'm going to post after we're done. And if you can't join me live, which is always fun live, but if you can't join me, sign up anyway, and then you get the replay right in your inbox after we're done. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.